This Korean-American food blogger is one of TikTok's most beloved storytellers.
You deserve to be happy, you deserve to be celebrated, and don't you let anyone take that away from you.
I always liken my videos to a virtual dinner party. When you go to a dinner party, there are two things that you remember when you walk out the door, whether the food was good and whether the conversation was good. You can oftentimes make up for bad food with really, really good conversation. And so I think that relating and storytelling or being vulnerable is really a natural partner to eating and breaking bread with someone.
Joanne Lee Molinaro is the creator of The Korean Vegan. She uses her platform to recreate traditional Korean recipes with meat and dairy alternatives. Her signature video style involves her telling stories about her upbringing, family, and heritage.
This is my grandmother. When she was only 20 years old, she bundled up her newborn son, tied him to her back, and she began the long trek across the mountains. But first, she would have to get past the men who were guarding the border between what would soon be North and South Korea.
Molinaro, who's also a best-selling author, says she shares personal stories in part to combat racism and educate people about her culture.
When I decided to start sharing stories about the immigrant experience here in the United States through the lens of my own family, that was foremost in my brain. There are all sorts of facets to compassion that are necessary, and there are all sorts of voices that this planet needs in order to heal this planet, right? One of the important things that I always want people to take away is life is short. Your parents' lives are short. Their memories are even shorter. Your grandparents' lives are short. Please sit down with them. Collect their stories. Their stories should be heard. They need to be seen as people, as humans, as much as they need to be seen as your parents or your grandparents. So giving them that gift of listening to them, really just listening to them, is probably one of the most beautiful things you could ever do for them in their lives.
Molinaro says she hopes her stories serve as an opportunity for people to come together.
However different we may be on the outside, or it may seem, or however different our food may smell, taste, or look, there's quite a lot of it we probably share in common. And it's important to celebrate these beautiful cultural differences and be respectful of them. But it's just as important to maybe sit back and say, where is there a point of connection?
Of course, taste is entirely individual. I won't apologize for the fact that certain foods don't taste good to me, and neither should you. But the next time you're tempted to call someone's food nasty, hit the pause button, because there's a good chance that it's not the food that'll end up being nasty.
My mission is compassion and empowerment. Those are the two biggest pieces of the Korean vegan. And you'll notice it's not about veganizing the world. It's not about doing X, like something specific. We have so much work to do as human beings to save the planet, to reduce suffering, to reduce racism, to ensure that every single person, race, creed, gender, age, has access to the things that give them purpose and joy in life. We all need to be on that level playing field. And in my view, that starts with embracing the notion that compassion is one of the strongest things that you can actually do. Be a compassionate person.